At the time of me recording this intro, we have already closed this deal out as a regular cash wholesale transaction. Before we were working with the seller, there was another wholesaler that was working with the seller, and he got the property under contract under a subject to agreement. This just means that he said, hey, Mrs. Seller, I'm going to take your property over and I'm going to take the payments over. It's a creative finance strategy that you use when simply buying the property in cash doesn't work for whatever reason. Now, he found out that this strategy didn't work for this particular deal after he got it under contract. So he was like, hey, Mrs. Seller, sorry, that isn't going to work. I can only buy your house in cash. And the only problem is you owe too much to the bank, which actually wasn't the case. So he goes to the bank and says, hey, bank, I'm going to negotiate a short sale with you. And he hires a short sale negotiator to do this. And he tries to get the bank to approve a price less than what they're owed. It's not a bad strategy. The only problem is it wasn't necessary and it would have smoked the seller's credit. Now, what I think happened is I think the guy didn't have any ill intentions. I just think he just did not have the right resources, because we were able to come in and buy the property in cash and call it a day and wipe the bank out and prevent the seller from facing foreclosure and not have to do any sort of creative finance, which is what you'll see today in this call. So not every single foreclosure or crazy circumstance requires a creative finance deal. Sometimes a cash deal just makes more sense and you just might need more resources. Why do I say this? I learned the hard way. I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. About my first or second year into wholesaling, I'm going on appointments with maybe one or two cash buyers that I have in my pocket, and I'm talking to all these motivated sellers, and I'm only selling these deals to maybe one or two of these cash buyers. And I bring one of these guys to one of my appointments, and he's like, hey, this lady, her property is only worth $175,000. There's no way that we can give more than that. So I gave an offer to the lady for $175,000, and she wanted nothing less than $195,000. We didn't get the deal. Even though she loved us, we were just off on numbers. 2 months later, I see the property up for sale on Facebook as a wholesale deal for $240,000. And I laugh and I'm like, there's no way that is ever going to happen. But I was curious. So I called the wholesaler and I'm like, hey, did you guys get that property done? And she's like, yes, we got full ask. We got right at $240,000. And I'm like, what the heck? How did you do that? She's like, Mike, we've been doing this for years now. We have a bunch of cash buyers. We have a bunch of resources. And ultimately, we have the resources to get full cash deals done at a higher price than most people. And I'm like, oh my gosh, can we do more deals together? So we started doing a lot of deals together over the next couple of years. But here's what I learned. I learned that you cannot just think that a property is worth a certain number in cash. The buyers in the marketplace are going to tell you that. And if you don't have the resources to have connections to all those buyers, not only are you going to miss out on opportunities, but you're going to miss out on opportunities to help sellers. Because in this circumstance, if the seller was simply just going off of the resources that the original wholesaler had, she would have had to done a short sale and her credit would have been shot. But with us, we were able to find our cash buyer onto the deal, wipe her bank out, prevent her from facing foreclosure, and get the deal done. Let's get into the call. By the way, really quick. So what we had to do is we had to start building out all of our resources. And we've been doing that over the last 5 years. So if you have any deals in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, or Connecticut, we got the resources to get it done. Just shoot me a DM on Instagram. Give me a freaking seller to call.
Oh,
Hi, Michelle. This is Mike Gomes. I'm partners with Felipe. How you doing?
hi. I
Hey.
was wondering, what is this number calling me now?
Yeah, no, sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay.
Well, we're on Zoom, and I was trying to talk to you through the Zoom, and it was just like...
Oh, okay.
Well, catch me up to speed on where you and Felipe last left off. Give me a minute synopsis, and I'll see what it is. If I can give any advice, or if we can help out, give me
What I'm trying to figure out is what the purchase and sale agreement that I had signed back with this investor. Just trying to figure. I don't have a copy for whatever reason. I don't know why. It's not in an email or anything. Trying to figure out what am I binded to before I decide, hey, I'm gonna back out of with this investor and go with you guys instead. You know what I mean?
Very smart.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, I gotta find out. I'm trying to reach out to the other person to I'll just send her a text and get see if she can send me a copy of that purchase and sale, because what's happening with the investor, he's trying to do a short sale because of a lien that's on the home. And as I told Felipe before, I believe there's 2 home modifications because I did before try to see if I can work out something to prevent it from going into foreclosure. So that's what he's trying to aim at. So in order for him to do that, he had to submit all this. I had to submit all this paperwork, bank statement, all this, get these stuff notarized, send it over to the bank, and then the bank, I guess, whatever they decide takes their time, and they show them the case. This is what's happening. And see if they agree or not. And I'm still waiting to find out. So it's been a couple of months. So right, I don't know if the home is in foreclosure because I think that's what the investor was trying to prevent. That's why he was doing the short sale. Like I said, I don't know what I'm buying it to, so I can be like, oh yeah, let's jump into it if I don't know what's happening. So what am I obligated and legal for? I don't want to be like, oh no, we're going to sue you now because you said da-da-da. And I'm like, oh no, I don't want to do that.
Right, yeah, you don't want to get into that. So pretty much, if you had already signed a purchase and sale agreement with this other buyer, depending on what the verbiage was in that agreement,
Right.
if there was like automatic extensions and stuff, maybe there's a way for them to kick the contract down the line if there is something like that in there. But pretty much, in the event they haven't closed on time, technically they are out of contract. Now, you said you don't have the contract handy, right?
From that purchase and sale, he sent it to me via DocuSign, like an email. So I just had to click on it, click on the link, and sign it. And he gets the submission. But I don't know how DocuSign works. I never got I would have thought you would get a copy of it, but I didn't get no copies, email. And
You had a conversation with them at all?
Nope. The last conversation I had was with a female that works with the company, Keith. She texted me actually yesterday. Funny thing is, we've been talking about. I was talking to Felipe about it, and she ended up texting me. Let me see if I can find her text. Because I know she sent me a text message, something about, oh, I'm just doing an introduction to the attorney, between me and the attorney that's supposed to represent us. And that's the last thing I've ever heard.
Got it. All right, so here's what it looks like. They have the agreement that you signed with them pretty much says that they are going to buy your property with the current mortgage still in place. So essentially, think about it like this. Let's just say you owned a Honda, right? And you had a $5,000 car note on that Honda.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, Michelle, I'll buy that car off of you, but I just want to keep the current car note that's in place. Just keep it in your name and I'll make the payments. That's pretty much what they're doing, which is fine. That's the deal might make sense. I haven't underwrote the numbers in that standpoint, but from what I'm looking at, as far as the total payoff goes on the property, like paying off the mortgage and paying off any liens and stuff, I think it's just much easier to buy the property in cash and wipe all that stuff out. That way there's no mortgage in you guys' name anymore, right? And that's wiped off of your debt to income ratio.
Right. Yeah, because I think roughly, I don't know the exact figure. I think it's between 180 or 185. I don't remember.
Got it. Do you know the amount of what that lien would be?
Like I said, anywhere between 10 and 11,000.
So you're looking in total, if we were going to pay the bank off 100% and we were paying that lien off 100%, we're looking at somewhere around like the 195 mark.
Right.
Okay. And in the event we can do that for you here in the next, call it 21 to 30 days, did you want to move forward with us?
Yeah, as long like I said, I'm just scared. I don't want them to come back and be like, oh no, you did this wrong, and now we're gonna do this. Like, as far as what you read, that's the only thing I have. Like, as far as what you got that I sent you as a purchase and sale agreement, I'm not binded to anything, or I just want to make sure that I'm not tied to anything before going forward.
Got it. Here's what I think happened. There's two different things here on the agreement. It says
Yeah, the very beginning, right? I'm trying to read it as you speak as well.
Yeah, this would be the this would be the second page. So you see where it says on line item 3, it says subject to existing financing. Pretty much that just means what I was saying earlier in the example of the car. That just means that they're just going to take over your payments, which is fine. We actually do that a lot of the times too when the deal makes sense.
Okay.
It allows us to be able to get into a property without having to come up with all the cash to purchase it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Now, I do see 2 line items under that says first mortgage with an approximate balance of $180,563, which is the same exact thing that I saw on public record, so that makes sense. And then there's another thing there that says 3 loan modifications with a total approximate balance of $53,000. Do you know what that would be?
I know I did modifications, and when I remember too. I don't, but now the first time he said it looks like it was 3, and I'm like 3, okay. I think the last loan modification was recently done, not so long ago. I don't know how long ago it was done.
Okay. Well, what should happen is the loan modifications went through, right? Like you guys get approved?
Yes.
So what should happen is they should pretty much any, was there a point where you guys were in back payments? Like you owed them maybe a few months worth of payments?
Yes.
Got it. So what should happen is when they do the loan modification after that, is they should bundle all those back payments into pretty much a new loan. That's what a loan modification is. A loan modification is pretty much just an entire new loan with new terms, with a new payment, with a new total payoff and all that. So I'm not sure what they're seeing here. Maybe they're seeing something that we haven't seen because we haven't ran title yet. But from what I saw on public record, it looks like the loan modification that you took out was just for $180,000. So if we were going to pay everything off, from what I see, it looks like there's only a mortgage with all the loan modifications that you've done, with all the back payments and all that stuff in it. It looks like it's just of $180-something thousand. And then on top of that, you have the other lien for 10 to 11 grand. So for us, what we would have to do to close everything up.
10 to 11. I don't know the exact figure.
Okay, no problem. Just somewhere around there. So for us, we would just have to come up with the right amount of cash to pay all of that off. So after underwriting and looking at the deal yesterday, I don't see why we can't do that. I don't see why we can't come up with, call it 195 to pay everybody off and just close the deal out like a regular cash deal like we always do. So here's what I'm saying. From looking at the numbers, I think we have a deal here at 195. So what I'll do is I'll have Felipe send you over a new purchase and sale agreement with us closing in the next 30 days. Give us the next 10 days to run title and do our due diligence and bring our partner in on the deal so that we can just perform, let's call it December 11th, so that we can perform by the beginning of next year, and we'll call it a day. In between that, if these guys end up coming back, one, technically they're out of contract, but you could just have them call me directly and tell them, hey, our agreement is now null and void. You guys did not keep up your end of the bargain. We're out of contract at this point. I went with another buyer. You can call them directly if you guys want to work together. Maybe you can work something out, and you could just give them my personal line and they can give me a shout.
Okay, regardless of whatever.
Yeah,
yeah, because I don't, like, if anything else comes up out of the blue, I don't want to be like left hanging with nothing, and then I'll just, something doesn't work out or whatever, and then I'm going to be forced to foreclose on the property.
No. We won't. I'll make sure that does not happen. What did you have an auction date?
No, nothing.
All right, that's good news.
I said nothing. Nothing. Nobody has told me anything.
Well, that's good news. That means that you have a decent amount of time. But we don't need that amount of time anyway, because we're going to be able to get it done in the next 30 days.
That's how it is.
Well, let's do this. I'm going to have Felipe send you and your husband over a new purchase and sale agreement that just says we're going to close in 30 days. And
like you said, depending on whatever from here to then.
Yeah, we'll have a 10-day period where we're gonna run our title to make sure that, because I don't know where they're coming up with this $53,000. It doesn't make any sense to me, but maybe they ran title and saw something that Me and you both don't know
that
of.
I don't know. Yeah.
Right. So that could be the case. But anyways, here's what's crazy. The other buyers were actually right about the 50 something $1,000 lien. There was a couple other liens that added up to about 50 something $1,000. So on top of the 195 that we thought that we were going to pay for it, there was an extra 50 something $1,000 in liens, and we were still able to get the property done for cash. We'll be able to take our agreement and send it over to our attorneys, and my attorney will start to run title just to verify everything. And then in the meantime, I'll have my team get out there and we'll have our partners walk it probably early next week. It's already Wednesday at this point, so we'll probably have to do that early next week. And then from there, we'll close in the next 30 days.
Gotcha. All right. I appreciate your time and help and listening to my dilemma.
No, I got you. This is my job. This is what I do.